Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, today I have a couple of bizarre stories. One, a South African UFO encounter, and another, Ultraterrestrials. We'll ask, do you think they exist, or do you don't? Either way, let's get into the first article, 1953 South African UFO encounter. A silent craft, a crowing visitor, and a vanishing memory. Let's get into this article and hear exactly what was witnessed. Near the East Driefontein mines in South Africa, a witness claimed an unforgettable encounter with a metallic shell-shaped UFO and its unusual human-like occupant. But after promises of a ride inside the craft, a bizarre animal-like reaction, and a mysterious blackout, the witness awoke with no memory of what truly happened that night. In 1953, a young witness reported seeing a metallic object land on the farm near East Driefontein mines in South Africa. The object was shaped like two shells joined together, measuring about 10 meters in diameter, and stood on three metallic legs. A human-like figure emerged from the object and approached the witness, seemingly communicating with him and informing him that he would be taken for a ride in the craft. The man was described as thin, with long black hair, fairly dark skin, a youthful face, white teeth, and dark angular eyebrows. He accompanied the witness to the house to retrieve a basket of food. On their way, one of the dogs attacked and bit the strange visitor. According to the witness, the man responded by making a peculiar growling noise similar to that of a rooster, which he continued to make after being bitten. Inside the object, the witness observed small windows all around, illuminated by little lights around the window frames. The interior featured light brown upholstery on car-like seats. When the object took off, and did so silently, the witness has no recollection of what happened next, and later found himself back in his bed. Source: UFO, Afra News. Either way, very interesting, folks. I suppose that this alien being sounded more like an animal after it was bitten because it was in pain, perhaps. That's to be expected. A person who was bitten would probably start and growling himself, so I'm not that surprised. But was this actually just growling, or was it maybe part of his language, the original alien language this entity speaks? We don't know. Either way, folks, the fact that this guy was taken willingly on a ride but can't remember parts of it is telling. Were things done to him, perhaps? We don't know. Either way, a very interesting story, folks, but let's move on to the next one because I'm sure it's probably just as interesting. So let's continue. Today, we're going to be looking at an article on ultraterrestrials, hidden neighbors or cosmic tricksters. Now, it's been said, folks, that the beings visiting our planet might not actually be extraterrestrials, but beings that live alongside of us on Earth. Perhaps on it or under it. From myths and legends, what we would call goblins, elves, dwarves, and other fairy-like creatures, and even jinn, folks, are what we would know in the modern UFO era as alien extraterrestrial beings visiting Earth. But maybe they're not. Let's read on and find out. For decades, the UFO UAP mystery has been locked into a narrow debate. Are we being visited by aliens from distant star systems, or are strange sightings the result of misidentifications and folklore? A paper by physicist Hal Puthoff challenges that binary. Instead, he proposes an unsettling alternative, that much of what we interpret as extraterrestrials may in fact be ultra-terrestrial, hidden intelligences that have been here with us all along. In his paper, Ultraterrestrial Models, Journal of Cosmology, 2022, Puthoff lays out two simple but radical premises. 1. Something unidentified is interacting with the human population. 2. Its origin is unknown and may not be exclusively extraterrestrial. That second part shifts the ground entirely. Rather than defaulting to aliens from elsewhere, Puthoff encourages us to consider whether hidden or parallel intelligences have been present here on Earth, coexisting alongside us in largely invisible ways. Is that true, folks? It's a startling idea. Maybe these creatures that we think of as aliens are actually what we know as creatures of myth and legend, literally from fairy tales. As I've said before, folks, it's a startling idea. But let's continue with this article. What are ultraterrestrials? Puthoff outlines several candidates that fall under the ultraterrestrial banner. I guess there's this point here, folks. Ancient hidden civilizations, remnants of a pre-Diluvian high-tech society. Atlantis, Lemuria, forced into isolation after a catastrophe. Yeah, they might even be human, folks. That's the thing here. Literal humans who have just advanced technology. Occult or secretive groups, societies that stumble upon exotic energy or gravity control long before mainstream science. As I said, folks, maybe they're human, or maybe they're other, but you get the same idea as basically the remnants of basically Atlantis. These are humans with advanced technology or, I guess, skills. It's a very interesting idea. Standard gods, or ETs, extraterrestrials who arrived long ago and remained behind, now living in seclusion. Interdimensional intelligences, beings accessing our space-time from adjacent realms. Time travelers, future or parallel humans revisiting their past, which is another interesting subject, folks, and could be, maybe, have some merit, but I'm not quite sure. Because there's several ways to look at these creatures, folks. It's listed right here, as you can see. Each of these comes with potential signatures, myths of advanced devices, undersea or underground bases, hybridization programs, warnings about nuclear war and environmental collapse, or technologies just a step ahead of our own. Then we come to why stay hidden. If such beings exist, why the secrecy? Puthoff suggests several motives. Here's his argument. Fear of exploitation or annihilation by humanity. Cultural preservation, avoiding assimilation, disease, or uncontrolled hybridization. This is another good point to consider, folks. Then we have stealthy influence, guiding or manipulating human development without revealing their true nature. That's another interesting idea, folks. Then we have resource dependency, quietly benefits from interactions with us while avoiding exposure. In this model, some ET encounters may actually be misdirection, presenting themselves as alien visitors to deflect from the reality of local hidden neighbors. I do agree with that fact, folks. But do you think it's true or not? Actually, I think it's all real. I think these beings are aliens, and they are possibly our cousins as well. Literally, perhaps, maybe they evolved alongside of us on Earth and live hidden from us. I think that's a good idea as well. But, as I said, folks, let's continue. Implications for disclosure. Here lies Puthoff's most disturbing idea. If ultraterrestrials are real, disclosure could be more disruptive than alien visitation. Why? Because it means they've been here all along. They may have infiltrated our myths, religions, and even our genetic makeup. Alien visitors from the stars would at least feel foreign. Ultraterrestrials, on the other hand, suggest proximity, neighbors we never noticed. Now, let's get to critiques and contradictions. Not everyone is convinced. Some critiques include speculation over data. The paper outlines possibilities but lacks direct forensic evidence. Also, overlaps with ET models. Many signatures apply equally to extraterrestrials, making discrimination difficult. Then we have Occam's razor. Hidden civilizations or interdimensional beings multiply assumptions when more straightforward explanations, secret military projects, misperceptions might suffice. Then we have source credibility. The Journal of Cosmology has faced criticism for speculative content. Skeptics have argued that the paper is more of a thought experiment than science. Others, like John Keel decades earlier, suggested ultraterrestrials are trickster forces, entities that manipulate us, appearing in whatever form our culture expects, which could very well be the truth, folks. From basically our myths and legends to what we watch on TV and our modern programming, or even online right now, folks. Perhaps these entities appear as, well, these perceptions to fool us. So it is an interesting idea to think about. Moving forward, whether one accepts or rejects the ultraterrestrial model, Puthoff's challenge is valuable. Expand the investigative lens beyond nuts and bolts spacecraft. Seek forensic signatures, not just witness narratives. Compare paradigms. Rather than forcing everything into the ET from Zeta Reticuli, you might want to look at the differences and basically, well, look at the information that you have, folks. Maybe it presents a different, well, truth than what you basically think. Then stay critical. Resisting the temptation to make ultraterrestrials the new default explanation. The UFO UAP enigma remains unresolved, but Puthoff's model forces us to confront a sobering possibility. What if the most significant others we fear are not visitors from the stars, but ancient or hidden intelligences that have always been part of Earth's story? Indeed, folks, maybe that's the truth. And it's a very radical one. Either way, folks, there's also a note. If ultraterrestrials exist, disclosure may not feel like first contact. It may feel like a revelation that the strange presences in our folklore, religions, and abduction accounts were never out there at all, but always right here. Indeed, folks, that changes entirely how we view the world and basically where we go from there. It basically means that what we've always think of, well, as myth has been real. Either way, folks, we're at the end. So please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to do so. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.